Tim Tszyu says Jermell will be on a 1-year honeymoon, wasting that money he made from Canelo. He's firing shots. Let's go.
Push the weight and now flex. The live is 1 in the 6. With the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You will run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Let's go, man. Listen, I don't care if you don't like him. I don't care if you have no faith in his ability. I need you to understand this. This right here, him even talking about Jermell, is Jermell's fault. Fair enough? Let me explain. Do I think he could beat Jermell? I don't know. At this point, it's a 50-50 fight. But you need to understand this. He has the 154 title because of Jermell. Sidebar. He is an email champion. I love how no one is saying that. But y'all quick to call Devin the email champion, right? Y'all are silent on Lomachenko sending Devin the email, right? Here this guy is, an email champion, and y'all not saying a word. He just beat Mendoza. Really good win for him. And now he's popping his collar. Bad mouthing Jermell Charlo. This is Jermell's fault, man. He was supposed to handle this business. So boxing scene, I'll put the link in the description if you care to read it. Tim Tszyu says, I think Jermell Charlo will be on a 1-year honeymoon wasting that cash. So he's pointing out that, hey, man, this guy came up for a payday. Nothing more, nothing less. All right, he's going to come back into the ring sometime in March. Junior middleweight champion still wants to fight Jermell Charlo next, but Tszyu thinks Charlo might try and fight another opponent or take an extended break between bouts after making a career-high payday after facing Canelo Alvarez in their super middleweight title fight September 30th. He says, I don't blame him. All right. He says, I think he'll, in my opinion, I think he'll take a 1-year honeymoon, spending all that cash, wasting it. So already what he's doing, he's saying that he doesn't think Jermell really cared. I think he's questioning his drive for the sport. He's going to go on a honeymoon, as he put it. I think he's being light by saying that. I think he wants to say something else. That's just me. But wasting that money, acknowledging that he went up there for the payday and didn't even try to win. Tim Tszyu is firing shots. Now let's look at the facts. He called out Jermell. He wanted the smoke. And what did Jermell do? He pursued a payday. He want payday. I know that. That's the facts. Whether it was a duck out of fear or duck out of strategy for a bigger payday, it was a duck. Now again, this is just the facts. Everyone, myself included, said, yo, I'm not sold on Tim Tszyu. Jermell need to get him out the way and shut his mouth, and then you could probably go on and try and fight Canelo somewhere else. Now he went up there, he didn't fight Canelo. He went up there and competed and lost. You want to call it competing, I don't know. But he went up there and lost. Everyone's upset with him. And now they're saying, I don't know if he could beat Tim Tszyu. And Tim Tszyu has a pretty good victory over Mendoza, who was a solid opponent, and he dominated him. And shout out to Mendoza. He did the best he could. I actually thought he'd do a little better. But he was hurt 3 good times in that fight. And Tim controlled every aspect of the fight, from ring gentlemanship to being defensively sound. I tip my hat to that performance. Now, will he do the same thing versus Jermell? We got to see. But he wants to smoke. And he reserves the right to sit up here and talk his talk. It's just the reality of things. He says Yeah, well, he was in that tough spot because I became mandatory, Tszyu said. You know, so he was able to sort of maneuver his way and make a little payday. Talking about him and Canelo. If I got him out in January, that payday would have never happened. His career would have been done. But he's got his one last fight left. He's talking about him. He wants to smoke. Now, Jermell's in a bit of an interesting position because he has a mandatory, I believe, in the IBF. I can't even say that man's name. But if he don't take that fight, they're going to strip him of that title too. So you got to take care of that. And I don't care what anyone says. He's going to have to see Tszyu. He's going to have to see him. He's going to have to see him. You understand? Because now this kid is talking. I don't even call him a kid. He's 28 years old. I'm fairly older than him, but I'm not trying to disrespect him. And like I said in my other video, he went from being Costa Tszyu's son to just Tszyu. He is officially coming to his own. He reserves the right to trash talk, man. You know why? Now, he could say, yo, Jermell ducked me. And he's right. Now, whether you think Jermell will come down, back down to 154 and dust him off, great. This is boxing. We have to what? See it. He has to see it. Son of former junior welterweight champ Costa Tszyu has left it entirely up to Charlo as to whether they finally meet. He says, that's a question for him, not me, Tszyu said. I'm ready. That's it. Right? Says, I feel the same as Tim, Rose said. I feel like it's a decision for him to make. If I watch Tszyu fight, I'll be looking at what the other options are for myself as well, rather than jumping in with Tim, because it's Tszyu if he steps in with Charlo. So that's why the hit list exists. That's why there's other opportunities out there that will be pursued. But anytime Charlo puts his hands up, I know Tim's saying yes straight away. That was George Rose. He's talking about a possible showdown between Tszyu and Charlo. And now, guess what else you have to worry about? Guess what else you have to worry about? You have to worry about Tszyu. I know he said something about he wants to fight in America now. Look, man, I believe that when I see it. I think he wants to exercise as much of his A side as he can. Jermell's now coming off of a loss. They done took a belt from him and gave it to him. Email. So if Jermell says, yo, man, F that. I'll fight you. What if he says, okay, great. Come to Australia. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Come to Australia. Everyone over here is going to be like, nah, this guy just came on the scene. This is Jermell Charlo. Exactly. What determines the A-side, people? Popularity, seat sales, belts, accolades. I'd say popularity and seat sales. And you know what he's going to have to deal with? Everyone saying, hey, man, Tszyu has a country backing him. He sells out whatever arena in Australia. And Jermell's going to have to deal with that. You know what else everyone's going to say? Get your behind on the plane and go fight this kid. Devin Haney did it. Why can't you? What, are you scared? Manny Pacquiao went down there and got robbed, but Devin Haney didn't. What you scared of? He's going to have a lot of pressure on him. So we're going to have to deal with that unless Tim is a man of his word and says, hey, man, I'll come to America and fight you. Now, who wins that fight? I don't know. As it stands right now, it's 50-50. But see, Jermell, you see? You're supposed to handle this business. So Tszyu can say whatever he wants to say. But Jermell got to get in the ring and shut his mouth. This is boxing. This is how we do it. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Bronx on deck.
Move!